Yo, I wanted to make a real quick video about Errol Spence and Keith Thurman and Terrence Crawford, especially about Keith Thurman. I think Keith Thurman is going to end up going the top rank route, and I think Keith Thurman is more comfortable with the idea of, well, I say this because I don't know what I think. What I think he'll be more comfortable with the idea of fighting Terrence Crawford, and I know that's been talked about before, but I think that either he beats Terrence Crawford and builds confidence towards fighting Errol Spence, or he fights Terrence Crawford and feels comfortable with the rematch in Terrence Crawford or whatever. But when it comes time to fight Errol Spence, if his confidence ain't right, you're gonna hear a lot about him starting to talk about how 147 is hard to make, and he gonna go to 154. But that Errol Spence thing, I think he's built up Errol Spence in his own mind. Obviously, Errol has the skills and the ability and the hunger to kind of make him hesitant on his own. But I also think that I think Keith has fed into that too, and um, I don't think he won't smoke with him, and it's just gonna continue to get worse. And so I think Terrence Crawford is the perfect person because it'll be a person that will be respected, that he can fight, but also somebody that he wouldn't look at as somebody he couldn't beat. So it'll be like a tough fight, but he still has a size advantage and a punching power advantage. Some rematch match options if it's a close fight, and then it'll be like the perfect excuse to get out of fighting Errol Spence. And then with all of that time going forward, if Errol is still a monster and still developing, and Errol's in a really good. He's like in his physical prime too. When you talk about being 27, that's the perfect time where the brain and the athletic ability are equaled out. Because when you're young, you're super athletic, but things are still a little fast. But then as you get older, and that goes to the way the brain develops, we don't really reach our full. Our brain doesn't fully develop until we're around 25 years old, where the frontal lobe develops. And so anything like around that from 26 to about 29, 30 is when the brain starts to catch up, but the physical isn't it's still high too, but it's not as high as when we were, 21 obviously. But at the same time, it's kind of equal where we are at our full strength and full mental capacity. So I think that's scary for guys. And so you look at like a Terrence Crawford. I think he is I think he's 30. And so I think that'll be a much more interesting thing for Keith Thurman to do. So I look for Keith Thurman to fight Terrence Crawford, um, and stay on that side. And if he wins, then obviously then he can start doing that whole top rank in-house fight stuff. Or if it, but when it comes down to like, nah, you got to fight Errol, I'm going to feel confident in saying that we gonna start hearing that 147 is just tough to make, and I was there for a while, and the boy hadn't made it up that far yet, and then when he made it up that far, I was injured, and now that I'm ready to fight, 147 just really difficult to make, so I'm gonna go ahead and campaign at 154, and there's gonna be fighters at 154 that might be bigger, but don't possess the same abilities as Errol Spence. So I think he'll be more willing to engage with bigger fighters. Uh, so I don't expect him to fight Errol Spence. If he does, great, but I don't see that happening that way. I think it's gonna end up where he gets the hell out of that fight altogether, and I think he's strategically gonna find a way for it to make sense. And given that there's a lot of bullshit in boxing, like this Anthony Joshua, the way they ducking Wilder, is gonna make Keith Thurman more comfortable with his reason to get out of fighting Errol Spence. So that's my thoughts, putting it down right now, because when it comes and it starts to happen, I'm gonna feel it's gonna feel funny to be able to look back at this video that I did on June, what is this, 15th, and know that like I put this out there. I'm out in Bedford, Texas right now. I'm in a hotel. I'm in town visiting my older brother, and I'm here to see Errol fight, man. I'm gonna be down on the floor, and I'm gonna check out Errol do work, man. And I got really good seats. And if Errol's next fight is in reach, if it's in Dallas, cause I live in Cali, um, if his fight is out here again or wherever it is, if I got the time, now that I understand how the SeatGeek app works, I'm gonna be sitting so damn close. I'm gonna give him instructions on next fight. This time I picked like a really good seat, but I didn't know that when you on SeatGeek, because I got them like the day that they came out, so I was kind of picking my tickets with a little bit of anxiety. Like, man, I gotta get good seats. So, I got good ones, but I didn't know if you zoomed in, more options would show up. So I could have really just found something that was, first row or whatever, and went on ahead and spent that money. But I just picked ones that I thought were the best seats available. So I got some good ones. I think I'm in like the 11th row or something like that. So it'd be good. But like I said, I'll know next time how that shit works, so I can really just get all the way up. And it's gonna be dope, man. Kicking it with older bro, and giving him a chance to check out Errol, because he hadn't heard of him until I put him on, and he live out here, so he really excited about going. So it's gonna be dope. And next time I bring the wife, man, it's gonna be fly. But anyway, that ain't what this video is about. This is just to say Keith Thurman, look for him to go to 154 after fighting Terrence Crawford as a gauge. Terrence Crawford's gonna be a gauge, because if he got outpointed by Terrence Crawford, I think he'd be comfortable with that. I think he'd just be more comfortable losing to Terrence Crawford, man. I just do, because I think he's confident that he could beat him, but it's not the end of the world if he lost. But that Errol thing, the way he got Errol built up in his mind, he don't want no smoke with that boy. So, yeah, anyway, I'm out of here. Peace.